combination and the battle between ego and self-awareness is by far the number one stumbling block for senior executives going to the next level. Have you ever felt that you were a little different? Me too. My father was an ex-Catholic priest who had a PhD in theology, spoke multiple languages, and read a book a day. My mom was a hardworking, oldest of 9 with a master's in English and an ex-Catholic nun. My brother went to the number one high school in the world, Phillips Exeter Academy, and my sister went to Harvard. Then there was me, the dyslexic middle child, super confident with a chip on my shoulder, so I got into a lot of fights. I love sports and being on a team. It took a while, but I got my degree. I knew early on that my path would be unorthodox, and I needed to learn from the brilliance around me and to develop my own hard-hitting instincts. Now, after 25 years transforming Fortune 500 companies, I'm sharing how I became half monk and half hitman to help others to be balanced, high performers in business and in your life. Hello, everyone. Welcome to HunterX. My name is John Hunter. Today, we're going to start off HunterX with a movie quote, a scene, and a set of words that I hope becomes a platform to discuss some management theories and philosophies for home and at work. And that is the Casino Royale's quote in the James Bond movie, where Bond is being dressed down basically by his boss, M. And if you haven't seen the movie or not a big Bond guy, it's okay. The scene is basically M, his boss, giving him feedback. He had achieved success in his mind, killing a low-level bad guy, put himself in harm's way, done a lot of really cool things to do it. But then when he meets with his boss, maybe you guys have been through this, right? The boss was expecting something bigger, something more than that from that level of an employee. And so in that dialogue, you get this back and forth from, hey, look, we need you to be, a deeper thinker than this. We need more out of you. And he basically goes, I know it's too early to promote you, right? A lot of people in business world have heard that. Well, I don't understand. He's thinking I'm going to be dead anyways. He makes a joke. She responds with, this may be too much for a blunt instrument to understand. And this is key. Arrogance and self-awareness seldom go hand in hand. And then Bond says at the end of this, a little bit longer dialogue says, so you want me to be half monk and half hitman. So after 25 years working in the corporate world and really trying to take advantage of all the wisdom and knowledge combined with my personal background, which you heard a little bit about from my parents and my siblings, how I fought through school, worked jobs, fell in love with sports, and it just things didn't come quite easily to me as I've been picking up more knowledge, more wisdom from failing a ton, running these big, large software companies, but also getting a lot of wisdom and knowledge from my father and my siblings and at ASU and from all the culture coaches I've had and all the personal coaches I've had. I find the knowledge and the teaching can kind of summarize in these two places, which is becoming monk and thoughtful and strategic and long-term thinking. And we're going to talk about a bunch of different techniques and ideas and learnings and how to be your best monk. And then how to be half hit woman or hitman, how to really know when it's time to get shit done, to not overthink it, to work on goal setting and all these things that are a little bit more straightforward, maybe come from adversity and becoming resilient, from jobs you've had throughout your life, from failures you've had throughout your life that have taught you something gritty, edgy. And that's the half hitman. So what are the three things? And we'll get that in HunterX, right? This is really short and sweet. You could be driving. You don't have to take 2 hours out of your day. You could be at work. You can be watching your kids. Well, maybe reframe that. Don't do this watching your kids, but maybe on your way to pick them up, put it in the car and just listen to maybe one subtle idea that you already knew, but maybe this just reinforces it or expands it in your mind or maybe reminds you of it. And what's the first thing to take away from this? One, using themes and movies and pictures to teach and to learn is effective. If you go back and watch the movie quote, you literally can get into their world. I mean, that's his boss. He's frustrated with her. She's frustrated with him. And you can use that if you're an empathetic person for your situation. So you personally can learn from that scene, from what she's teaching him and what she needs out of him. And you can then use these types of things to teach your people, your family, your kids, or if you have employees at work. So the first takeaway is using the scenes and pictures to teach sometimes is a better way to get through to people. What else do we take away from that scene? The combination and the battle between ego and self-awareness is by far the number one stumbling block for senior executives going to the next level. You may not always be told that directly if you're in an executive search or you didn't get the promotion. But let me tell you right now, if you're a hard charging sales manager, business manager, you have a big personality, you got a big ego, and we like ego. Ego can be good. Ego says, I got confidence, I believe in myself, no fear. But my goodness, if we can't balance that with self-awareness, can you be under control? Can you know when you're being too much of you? That is a key takeaway from this scene that everybody should be thinking about, especially if you've gone through a career opportunity you didn't get. If you've had a 360-degree review, if you've gotten feedback from others, and you can get this at home, by the way. You could be going to a party, maybe not get invited, or something else happens, and you're kind of saying, boy, was I too much of me? And ultimately, we're going to talk about how not to change you. We don't want you to say things you don't believe in, but there is a way to just monitor yourself. And what's the last thing she says in the scene? She says, I need to know that I can trust you. So if you are in a big job right now and you are reporting to other people, their careers are on the line for you, especially if you're like me, you're in a sales role and a revenue role. People want to know what your virtues are, what your values are, what your self-awareness is like, because you are carrying a lot of times their career with you. So you can teach with pictures and movies and songs and summaries and summary level pictures. We want to emphasize in this particular one how being self-aware blended in with strong ego is important, and we want to always be aiming for trust. It's HunterX, bunch more to come. Thanks for tuning in. Talk to you soon.